Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Virgin to Me. So, Kelly and I are back again. Woo! Why are we back, Kellers?
We're back to talk about our most recent adventure.
I was going to say cruise, voyage, whatever you want to call it. Our most recent fabulous adventure.
Yes.
And where did we go, Kelly?
We went to the
St. Isles and Seas of the Caribbean. We have had the hardest time. Well, I feel like she's remembered it more, or I should say better than I. And then I think I've messed her up along the way when I'm like, what the heck is the name of that itinerary? St. Caribbean Seas and the Isles. And she's like, no. And then you'd say it. And then I'd be like, ugh, I didn't get it. And then I was calling it St. Isles and Caribbean Seas. Ugh, it's quite a mouthful, that is for sure. But it was amazing, right?
It was amazing.
It was super, super fun. So this is I call it the second installment a year later. We actually did, what did we do? Sunsets in the Lesser Antilles last year around the same exact time. And then came back a year later and did the other one. It was the same last year, right? But it was called something totally different. Oh, and it had that other island that they pulled, Guadalupe,
yeah.
Yeah, they pulled that one and changed it around a little bit this year, which I have to be honest, of the two, we've said this earlier, if you watch our lives on Virgin Voyages Cruise Tips and Deals on Facebook, we do a live every Tuesday. We said it on there that what our favorite one was of the two, and this one was my favorite, and
this one was mine.
Yeah. So I loved it. I loved these islands because honestly, I'd only visited 2 out of the 5. How many had you visited? Well, no, you'd been
2.
Okay, it was 2. Okay, I was going to say I thought maybe it was more because of Tortola, but I had never been to Tortola. So the islands that we went to were, keep me honest here, get ready. I always forget one. Tortola, Barbados, and
St. Lucia.
Oh, St. Lucia, Antigua,
St. Martin.
St. Martin, yeah. So those are the islands that we visited. I had been to St. Lucia and St. Martin, and you had been to
Tortola and St. Martin.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So yeah, I knew it was Tortola. I wasn't sure what the other one was. So we've got some interesting stories for you and times. I actually have a video. If you have not seen it yet, can you even call it a video? It's like a snippet.
It's not even 10 seconds
long. I know. It's the craziest thing. Well, it went viral. So look at me. I feel like I'm like the coolest person on the planet because I went viral for the first time in my life ever. Strangely enough, first time ever. But I told my daughter this, that I went viral, and she literally is like, I'm now a superstar in her eyes. Like, she literally thinks I'm famous, which is hysterical because there's a man on there that's harassing me, telling me that I'm full of myself already on this video.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
He's already even in the video.
I know. He basically goes through and he's like, oh, you're so full of yourself. Like, he's so angry. I'm like, oh my God, guy. And my personality, I literally was like, hey, I want to meet you on a Virgin ship so I could buy you a drink. Like, I'm so like, back to him. So he's probably just, eggs him on more. Anyways, so I've never gone viral before. There was another video that I had, was a very short clip of Royal Caribbean that them pulling in the Icon of the Seas, pulling into Miami ship. And that sort of went viral, but not as big as this. I'm almost up to like 1.5 million views on this thing. It's nuts. It's like Kelly said, it's like 4 seconds long and it's nothing. Like, it's the worst video on the planet. So basically what it's about, I probably should tell you as I'm sitting here and just talking about it, is that Kelly and I, will talk about it later, but we were pier runners for the first time. And I think one of us was running, one of us wasn't.
One of us might have walked fast.
With no shoes on.
With no shoes on.
Which was crazy to me because it was like gravel. So you never said anything about that. We should probably have a discussion about your feet.
I think the alcohol helped.
Okay. Probably. So anyways, I take this video of us in the cab. I mean, we're just going so fast, trying to get back to the ship. And it's when you come around, if you've ever been to St. Martin, there's a bunch of hills, and you come around the one hill and you can see the ships in the bay parked, but I mean, they're way across the bay. So like the road over here is really far. And so you come around the hill and you can see it. And it was literally 3 minutes before we were supposed to be on board. So I filmed it, not really knowing what I was going to do with it. Because I have to be honest, once we got to the pier, my thought was that I would put it all together and create a pier running video. But what
the stress took over.
The stress took over. The running. There was no videoing. I mean, let's be honest. If I would have been fumbling with a phone, I probably would have lost it in the Bay of St. Martin. I don't even know the name of the stupid place. But so I was pretty much focused on running. But anyways, so we'll get there. But yeah, I went viral in this video, which is hysterical. And I already have people like, one woman goes, oh, Ariana, what did she say? She goes, well, you're an idiot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she said, congratulations, you're an idiot. And I was like, oh my God. And I just laughed at it. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. Some days I am. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it was like, oh God, these people crack me up. So, I mean, that's how crazy it is. There's over 300 comments now probably and 5,000 likes on the stupid thing. Like, it's crazy. So funny how easy things can go viral. But anyways, back to our and the stupidest stuff. Like the things that you're like, I spent all this time on making this video. It's this beautiful video about Bimini Beach Club and nobody watches it. Like 3 people. I spent 4 seconds on this video and it's like now 2 million people have watched it. It's nuts. Anyways, all right. So back to St. Isles and the seas of the Caribbean. I did it. So we when you leave from the Caribbean or leave on those 2 itineraries that we talked about and a couple of others, there's a couple longer 10 and 11 day itineraries that go out of, but you go out of San Juan. So obviously you have to get over there. So we flew over the day before and we stayed at Hotel Rumbau. It's so much fun to say. And last year I talk about how lovely it was. It's absolutely lovely. But what was it this time, Kelly?
It was beautiful.
Yeah, they did a good job.
They did a great job, yeah.
So honestly, I mean, I hate to say this. It probably could be excuse my language, a shit show and people would still stay there because it's literally right across from the pier. It took us 2 seconds to walk over there. And it's funny, you meet all these people downstairs because literally everyone, I think, staying at the hotel last night, was Virgin because the place was just bumping. And the other thing that happened too is I think people drop off their luggage and go over there. So it's crazy town in the morning as well because they go over there, they eat breakfast, they hang out at the bar, whatever it may be, because it's the closest real nice spot, I would guess, to hang out until, you're allowed to get on the ship. But so we stayed there. It was funny while I was waiting for Kelly to get down stairs. There was this family that was standing there and she was like, how far away is the ship? And I was like, it's a walk. I'll tell you that, but it's not like a walk. Like you're not going to be dying by the time you get there. I was like, but it's a walk with your luggage. Like it's not just across the street and you're there. So it's still, I would say 5 minutes maybe at the most because you're dragging luggage. I'm sure it'd be faster if you weren't dragging luggage and going over cobblestone streets and waiting for traffic. I mean, that's what makes it crazy because I'm not kidding. The ship is literally you could probably throw a stone at it. It feels that close, but it's not. Anyway, so she was panicked and I was like, you're going to be fine. I was like, just go slow. But I think it's just everyone dragging their luggage. There's no other way. If you stay there, there's no other. I mean, I'm not sure a taxi cab would drive you. Maybe they would because it literally is. Here's the end of the block. Here's the ship. So it's literally a block. So I'm not sure a taxi cab would be like, yeah, I'll take you over there. Kelly was mega last year and we talked about laughing about that because you didn't realize, neither one of us did when we got there. And so she was like, I don't really need Mega to pick me up.
I felt like it would have taken longer because by the time they came up the one way to pick me up at the hotel, they would have had to go around the block and down the other street. So I was like, this is silly.
Yeah, it really is silly. So it is funny. People will look at it and be like, oh, I got to schlep my luggage all the way over there. But I will tell you that the line, if you weren't Rockstar, was definitely long enough that you weren't schlepping your luggage far. Right? I mean, we got over there and the line was right there. We didn't stay in that because we were actually Rockstar. We were both seriously sweet. So it was a little different this year. So if you are sailing on this year, hopefully it stays the same. Obviously, we won't have no way of knowing because we're not going back. But regular sailors were on the one side. If you're looking at the ship, they were on the right side of the ship, and the Rockstar was on the left side. And there wasn't really any signs. You just see a line and you probably think, let me just get in this. But if you're a Rockstar, look for that Rockstar sign. So I left them in the line. I was like, stay here in case this is what it is, even though we pretty much knew that's what it wasn't. But I was like, stay here and I'll go. And I walked the line was massive. I walked the line all the way to their side, and sure enough, Rockstar was on the other side taking luggage and checking people in. And there was nobody there because I don't really know that anybody knew that it was over there.
Right.
If you were a new rock star, there was no way you were going to know that that was over there. You would just assume to go in that line.
I agree.
Because last year, it was all in the same spot. And there was signs where it was like, here's regular, and then rock stars right here, like at the front of the line. And no one was in it. So you could just go drop off your luggage and walk away. And then walk to get your bands. But this year, it was a completely different spot. And I think that was a fail, in my opinion, just because I don't know that anyone... If you've never sailed Rockstar, my guess is they didn't find it. And then we couldn't check in because it wasn't working.
System down.
So then we just left.
Yeah.
Like, here's our luggage. Bye. But the stinky part about it, so keep this in mind. You do have to carry around your things that you don't, you're not going to send with the porters. And obviously I would keep your most valuable things that you don't want to send with the porters. But that stuff is heavy. Like, it was our computers.
Yeah.
So we carried that around in the heat. It was hot that day.
It was.
So, and it was hot the last time we were there too. We were all like, ugh. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. And see if you can offload as much as you can into your suitcase before, you start to walk around. But we left and went into Old Town and walked far this time. Oh, I skipped a whole thing. I just realized that. How do we get to that? Oh, I was talking about Hotel Rumbow. I skipped the night before. So when we landed, we hired a driver to pick us up and take us around for 4 hours. They were phenomenal. I actually just booked them through Viator. It was literally the last minute, right? It was like, I think it was like 2 days before. I go, Kelly, what do you want to do when we get there? I don't know. I was like, all right, let me look in Viator. We'll get a private car. And that was how we did it. So honestly, usually with Viator, we have not had any issues with Viator. So I'll be honest with you. I know as a travel agent, I should be saying, no, book through me. But I've had no issues with Viator, like, at all.
No, I haven't either.
So we do sell it. We do sell excursions through Viator as a travel agent. So you're more than welcome to obviously book that stuff through us. But it turns out it was phenomenal. So he was standing there with a sign with my name on it because I obviously booked it. And he was standing right there. We came down the escalator or the stairs or whatever the heck it was. And there he was with the sign. And he was like, hello. And he's like, where can I take? I mean, he literally was like, where can I take you today? I know you're staying at Hotel Rumbow. Do you want to go straight there? And I was like, I booked you for 4 hours. No. So he was like, well, what do you want to do? And so we had looked up some stuff on the plane and we were like, well, let's go to the Bacardi. Let's go to the Bacardi rum factory. And then what else did we say? We're going to go see the Red Door. I think that was really it. We said we'd ask him the rest. So we tell him what we want to do. And he was like, yeah, no. We were like, wait, what? He was like, yeah, no. Because if you do the Bacardi rum factory, he's like, it's going to take you an hour to go through the whole thing. We're like, you're right. We paid for you. So then he made up this whole tour de San Juan, which was awesome. Like, he took us everywhere and we had the best time. He took us to this place called, oh, please. I say this all the time. Forgive the Spanish. Maybe I'll let Kelly do it.
Piñones?
Yeah. We could be saying something so bad and have no idea.
That's what it was.
I feel like that's what it was too. So he took us to this place. It was like an outdoor, I don't want to call it a flea market, but it had that feel. Like, everything was open air. Everything was, the food was open. There was shops too that were open. Everything was very open air. You could drink. There was bars, all kinds of stuff. He drove us through it and he was like, do you want to stop? And I'm very picky about where I eat. Very, very picky about where I eat. First of all, I have an allergy to shellfish, so that throws me into a tizzy. Because then when I hear they're like, we got fish from the thing, we fried it in the fryer, I'm like, I like panic. And then I'm just very picky about it. So then he's like, do you want to eat or drink? And we were all thankfully it wasn't just me. We're all like, oh, I don't know. So then we were like, all right, we'll go for a drink. So he's like, let me take you to this place. He takes us to this place that's right on the water. It's actually across the way from the water. The street was across, the street was in between the beach and in the place. He takes us to this place. He's like, all right, get a drink here. And we were all like, okay. So we get out. So they like, whoosh, they swarm us and they're like, what do you want to drink? What do you want to drink? What do you want to drink? And I'm like, I don't know. And so like, we're looking at each other and we're all like, I don't know. So we end up with mojitos and margaritas, right?
Yep.
I got a mojito.
You did.
I got a mojito. And although I was kind of like, I was really iffy on the margarita because I do love a good margarita, but they were saying that their place was known for the mojitos. Listen, let me tell you something. I don't know who knows that the place is known for the mojitos, but somebody knows that they're known for their mojitos. Now, With that being said, we stood there for a little bit and drank, because it was in a plastic cup, so we took it with us. So we stood there for a little bit, drank, looked at the beach, like we enjoyed a little bit of fresh air and whatever. And then Gilbert was like, "Do you want to get back in?" And by the time we went to go back in, I was like, "Ooh, I guess the place is really known for their mojitos." I was like, "Oh, this is really." I mean, I think I'd had like 2 sips, maybe 3 sips. I don't even know at this point, but I was like, "Oh, goodness gracious, what did they put in this mojito?" Literally 5 minutes later, all of us in this car are giggling like schoolgirls. We still don't know what was in these drinks, but it was definitely potent, and we were giggling like schoolgirls, like over like literally KFC. Like he's telling us a story about KFC, and we're howling over it. And then the Whopper at Burger King. I mean, things that you'd be like, "Oh, that's kind of funny, I guess, if you hadn't had a mojito from this place." So I don't know what happened to us, but we were slightly hysterical by that time. So it would be interesting to know what was actually in this drink. But we drove around. He drove us through like some of the more popular places. And then where'd we go after that?
Hi,
We're
Samantha
and
Kelly
from
Fabulous
Adventures.
Travel.
Travel.
I just said that.
But you have all the good words. I have we're and from. Let's switch.
But I have all the good words. Do you like Friends, the TV show? If you do, we are doing a Friends cruise. On what date?
June 25th, 2025.
Oh my gosh. So join us. We are doing a Friends themed cruise, and we are so excited about all the super fun things that we're going to do, and we want you to join us. So call us, contact us at Fabulous Adventures Travel Company, and join us on the Friends themed
Cruise.
cruise. That's my word. No, just kidding. Bye. See you there. Bye.
Where
The
heck did we
slanted
go?
bar.
No, didn't we end up at the Parliament? Yes. See, she doesn't remember because we were pretty hammered by this time. Like by the time we finished that drink, we were all
like 10 days ago.
yeah. And we were also like, I mean, I was feeling no pain by the end of that drink. So we end up at this, I think it was like I don't want to call it the Parliament. I don't really know what it was, but it was a government house of some sort. The Senate was there. There was a bunch of government officials there. And so it was beautiful. It had these huge white marble pillars, and he told us all about it. Again, couldn't tell you what the heck he said because, again, that drink was potent. And so we went in, and we walked in, and I said to the guy, I go, "How long is this going to take?" He's like, "Well, as long as you want it to take." And I was like, "Really? So we can just kind of wander in and look around and take pictures for 5 minutes?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we did. But he gave us a whole spiel about when they became independent and they had a government and all this stuff. Like, I mean, it was a spiel of spiels. And so in the meantime, the rest of us were like, "Gotta go to the bathroom at this point," because now we have to pee. Because now we've had a lot. Well, not a lot, but we've, that drink has gone through us. We haven't eaten anything. I don't think we've had anything to eat at this point. And I feel like everywhere we went that day, though, had no paper towels. Do you remember that? That was like the theme of the day.
Yep.
So like San Juan does not use paper towels, which might be a good thing, just air dry, whatever. But like every time I went somewhere, I was like, nobody touch me. I did wash my hands, but they're not dry. So then we left there. And then that's when, no, we went to the Red Door, remember? So the Red Door was... Actually, he asked if we wanted to walk around the fort, I think. And we were kind of all like, meh. Because again, we're feeling no pain and nobody wants to walk around a fort at this point. And the one request I had made if we weren't going to go do Bacardi rum was I wanted to go to the Drunken Cookie. So every time we'd get in the car, we'd yell, "Drunken," or maybe I yelled. I don't know about anybody else, but I'd be like, "Drunken Cookie." And so he's like, we're getting there. And so then the other thing that I requested too was the Red Door. So the Red Door was the original port entry. So like from anyone coming in, obviously Puerto Rico's an island. Anyone coming in obviously had to come by boat. So you had to go through this door, and that's where the immigration was. And I was like, that's so cool that the door is still there. And it's really this really pretty tunnel, honestly, into this gorgeous street. And so I said, I want to go walk through it. I want to go see it. So he took us to this place and just randomly parked somewhere in front of the police officer. And the police officer was like, yeah, you could stay here. I felt like we were in New York because it was just nobody cared. And so then he's like, I'll meet you back here. We're like, really? Should we be fast? Like, we were kind of like, ugh. So we like got out super fast. We ran down to the red door. We took some pictures, which was really cool. I thought it was cool. And then the street right out of it was gorgeous. And then that's when we went to the Slanted Bar. And then we realized it was time for more alcohol. Still no food, people. And we ended up at the Slanted Bar, and it was this bar that was a wooden bar. And literally, I think the bar was made like this. I'm assuming from weather, whatever, it warped into this. It was probably a flat wood bar at one point, but it was literally like this. So like, how did they get anything done? Because on the side that the bartender was on, it was slanted. The other side, it was slanted. And so Anthony was like, wow, my drink just rolled down at me. Convenient. It just went. Whoop. So we had a drink there. I don't remember what we drank. I think I stuck with mojitos. I think you stuck with margaritas. Yeah. And then from there, I think we went to the Drunken Cookie. And if you are going to be in San Juan, hands down, do not miss the Drunken Cookie. What, right?
It was delicious. Many, many options to choose from. Even alcohol options.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect that. I don't know what I expected. I think I expected the Drunken Cookie to not really be drunken cookies. I think I expected it to be like, oh, you're drunk, come get a cookie, like have that sort of thing. But what did you expect?
I thought maybe they'd have shots of alcohol.
Oh,
I didn't realize the shots actually go in the
cookie. I know, I didn't understand that either. I was like, wait, what? And I still never seen. Even when we were ordering, I was like, I don't know what I'm really ordering. But the one thing that was really cool was the cookie shot.
Yeah, the cookie shot. So the whole cup was made of a cookie. So you drink your shot and then you eat the cup.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. And so and it tasted really good. So we had coquito and then you had rum chata. And it was really good. And then I actually got a bunch of cookies. Did you guys get any?
No.
So I got a bunch of cookies. And then the cookies came with this little like dropper. It looks like a dropper, so it was like plastic. And it was filled with Tito's in the dropper. And you're supposed to put the dropper inside the cookie and squeeze it in. But I didn't try it. I know that's kind of weird, but I guess I should have tried it. Like if you're going to Drunken Cookie, you should try it. But the cookies were so good. I think it would have destroyed it. Like,
I don't know about putting vodka in a chocolate chip cookie.
I know, it's kind of weird. You're right. Yeah. Like rum chata probably would have been fun.
Yeah.
A Bailey's.
Yeah.
A vodka and a cookie would have been weird.
Yeah.
And then it just would have been like weird, crumbly weird. Don't you think?
Yes.
Oh my God. So that would have been gross. So anyways, I never put the droplets in the cookies. I ended up just eating the cookies and they were phenomenal. Like so good. And then after we left there, we saw the empanadas, remember? There was an empanada place across the way, which we ended up at the next day, which is kind of funny. So after we left there, we went to the bar that we originally went to last year called Scryer Rum Bar. And we met a bunch of people from the ship, Kevin, whom we yelled his name constantly whenever we saw him after that. But he bought us shots galore and sent us away very drunk after that. He was just buying people rounds of shots. He was a fireman from Pennsylvania? Jersey.
I think he was originally from New Jersey, but might live in like North Carolina or something. South Carolina.
Oh gosh, goodness gracious. We really
Sorry,
don't know.
Kevin.
Yep. Sorry, Kevin. I'm sure he doesn't follow me because he didn't book with me. So he does not follow us. So I think we might be good. But if you know Kevin, don't tell him that we forgot where he lived. No, he was so cool, but we enjoyed yelling at him the whole rest of the trip, which was always fun. Kevin! And he bought us all kinds of shots. And then I think we ended up back at the hotel after that, right?
Yes, we did.
So it was a great way to see. I mean, he took us through Old Town. We saw a lot of Old Town. We checked in the hotel. We got a voucher for food, which they said only worked that night, which I always think is weird. That keeps happening every time I go to a Marriott. They're like, this only works for the first night. Wait, what? Why doesn't it work for the next night? It doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. So we went and had appetizers. We did a progressive dinner. Went and had appetizers at Hotel Rumbao, and then went to Imara.
It was Mar-E something.
Mari.
Mar-E.
Really?
Something. Yes.
Okay, see, I'm making it up. But it was a rooftop bar, and it was really close to the hotel. Anthony was so worried we weren't going to make it. Do you remember? He was like, it's far. We got to go. And I was like, I don't think so. I think we're going to be okay. And then I'm like, they'll hold our reservation. Well, it ended up raining, so we weren't so like out, like, but the view was beautiful. And the food was great. I thought the food was phenomenal.
Food was great.
So if you
Mar
need...
E. Rosa.
Oh!
Just came to me.
Oh, that was genius. So impressed. So that's where we had dinner. And then after that, we were like, all right, let's go bar hopping. And so we went bar hopping and we ended up at this bar only because they were playing 80s music, not because we were like, that bar looks nice. We ended up there because we were playing 80s music, and I went in the doorway and I danced like a fool. And then everyone was like joining me. And then we were like, I guess we'll stay here. So then we stayed. And I can't remember his name. Do you remember his name?
No idea.
Dang it. It was not what I thought it was. I'm not even going to guess. But anyways, there was a bartender there, and he was giving us a hard time the whole time. We were there for a long time, but I have to remember I'm missing parts of that. Like, I'm like, did we stay there that long? Yes, we did. And then Anthony got a wild hair up his patootie and said that he wanted empanadas. So then we decide that we're going to go on an empanada trek.
In the rain.
And instead of going where they told us to go for empanadas, we went around the block, really. And then I stopped some random guy and I was like, hey, where do we get empanadas? And he's like, I don't speak English. And I was like, dang it. And so then he tells me in Spanish, and I go, he said, go this way. You guys, I don't know Spanish. I don't even know. I know gracias. That's it. That is all I know. Like, so when this man told me what it was, I was like, he said to go this way, this way, this way. And everyone's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I got this. No. We never found the place he was trying to tell us. And if we did, there was no way we were going to it anyways, because we just weren't. So we go around the block and literally end up back at the same bar, which is quite hysterical. And the guy goes, you're back? Yep, we're back. He was like, okay, great. So then we have another round of drinks, and then someone orders nachos. Was that someone me? I don't know.
Probably.
It is quite possible that someone was me. So then someone orders nachos. We'll say it's me. And apparently everyone fell in love with these nachos.
They were
right?
really good.
So the nachos were fallen in love with, to the point that Anthony still dreams about them, and begged us to stop on the way out of San Juan. He was like, do you think they're open at 10 a.m. so they can make me more nachos? And I'm like, were the nachos really that good, or were we just drunk?
I think it's a little of both.
Okay. Because I do remember them being spicy.
They were very spicy.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they weren't, I want to say it was more like chili, right? Maybe that's what it was. Like, it was like this bowl of chili, which didn't the guy say that he made it like right then and there? Because I think that's what you were saying. You were like,
no idea.
It was cracking me up because they go, he made it right here, right now. And I go, there's no way. And everyone's like, yeah, he did. And I was like, I swear that he did tell us that. Anyways, so it was really a bowl of chili, I think, that we were all just digging in. But apparently we're in love with them. Not just Anthony. All of us. So then we went to bed, I think. Oh, no, just kidding. We went down to the food trucks to go get Anthony the empanadas that he really wanted. And he ended up with an empanada, right? No, he ended up with something else.
I have no idea. I didn't eat in the food trucks.
I did. That's how drunk I was. We all know that if I ate in a random food truck somewhere, means that there was a lot of alcohol involved in that moment. So I had an empanada, and it was delicious. But I will say the thing was huge. And then the meat, like when you held it like this way, the meat was all down at the bottom. And so I was eating like just the pastry. So I was like, I pulled some of it off and fed it to the ducks, and then ate the actual meat part, strangely enough. Wow, I was really drunk. That's not something I normally do. Like now, I'd be like, oh, that looks good. No, I'm not touching that. And there I was, just shoveling it in. Wow. Anyways, so the next morning, like we said, got up, got ready, and then ate the longest breakfast in the world at the hotel. That was so long. It was like, I feel like it was like 2 hours for breakfast. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but I think it was like, an hour at least.
It was long.
And then got ready, got out, dropped our stuff off. And then, like I said, we kind of mentioned that earlier, the dropping of the stuff. And then we went and walked around again and ended up at a cigar bar across from the Drunken Cookie, right?
Yeah. Air conditioning.
Air
Is
conditioning
what
because it
we
was
were
hot.
really in search for.
Yes. And it was Saturday, so it was crazy town, like in Old Town. Old Town?
Yeah.
Yeah, Old Town. And we were actually looking for the Crooked Bar and never made it. I thought we were close to it, but we didn't make it, so I'm kind of bummed by that. And then we ended up at the cigar bar because it had air conditioning, and then we ran back because we were trying to get all the things. So because we were on the Resilient Lady. So the things that are different on Resilient is another roast, which you have to book ahead of time. And it is a charge, and we wanted on that. And we also wanted front row, so I'll let Kelly tell you, but explain the differences of like the different places, because that's, I think, where everyone kind of messes up just a little bit.
So it's all the same price. It's $50 a person. And you're basically paying for your alcohol because every course comes with an alcoholic beverage plus bottomless bubbles. So it's a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
You can book 3 different tiers. So it's front row, floor, and balcony. If you're in the front row, you are in the mix. Like, they're in front of you dancing on your table.
Yeah.
You're basically in the show.
Yeah.
And halfway through the show, the tables get moved around and you get moved around. So they'll take you upstairs while they reconfigure the room and give you the second course, I think it was, upstairs.
Yeah.
And then bring
Which
you
was
back
so
down
good.
and you're in completely different seats now. You're not in the same seats you started in. So we made the mistake the first time we saw it because we didn't know any better. We sat across from each other. So when they moved us around, we were nowhere near each other when they moved us back
way
down.
over there. I was like, what are you doing
So
over there?
this time we were like, okay, all our party, we had like 8 of us
Yeah.
that were sitting together. And we're like, everyone sit on the same side. So when they move us around, we get to be at the same table.
Which is weird, though. When you sit like that, you can't talk to the people down the way. Like, you can only talk to the people that are right next to you. So, like, anyone that's way down there, it stinks. But they do it, like we said, so that you stay together.
Yeah, so if you're on the floor seats, if you've been on Virgin and been in the Manor, you're basically where the little tables are, the little coves, around the whole front area of the floor. And then if you're in the balcony, obviously you're upstairs. You don't move during the show. So I would like to see it from the floor or the balcony because I'd like to see what happens when we're called upstairs.
Well, we did see it from the floor, but it was a horrible spot. Yeah. That's why we said we weren't doing that again.
Yeah, it was terrible. They stuck us in a little cove on the side. I barely saw anything that was going on because I was like in the corner seat. So I don't even remember watching when they moved all the tables and stuff. I don't even know if I was paying attention because I was just meh. Seats weren't great. But yeah, go for the front row if you want to be in the action.
Yeah, I agree. I love Another Rose. I love everything about it, honestly, because I think it's such a cool show, the way that they did. The food is phenomenal. What are the choices? It's salmon and short rib. I was going to say chicken.
Is it salmon?
I don't know. What is it?
Bass.
Sea bass? I knew it was a fish. So fish, definitely, and short rib. And the food is just phenomenal. And then I don't eat tuna. I don't eat any fish at all. Anything that swims in the ocean. So there's tuna balls. I call them tuna balls. I don't know what the heck their name are. But
I think it's like a tuna bomb or something.
Tuna bomb. Balls, bomb, same thing.
So good.
Well, they made mine celery. Oh my gosh. I was like, can I have another plate of these? They were so good. Oh my gosh. I could have been eating tuna. I don't know, but no, I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Anyway, so yeah, they give you that, but the food is phenomenal. And the drinks are great too. I love that about it. The drinks and the show is great. I mean, listen, I'm saying all the other stuff, but the stuff that you pay for, but the show is phenomenal. It's such a great show. It's fun. It's different. It's exciting. Yeah, it's cool. So go see it. But it sells out, obviously, especially on a 7-day, because then you're not eating certain restaurants twice. And, so people do that as well. So that was one of the things we wanted to do and make sure that we got on the right day, because we had already had dining. And since we're a big group, we knew that we had to get it on the right day, that we were already planning on it so that our dining didn't get messed up. And then also Lotteria we wanted to do. And then we ended up doing Chocolate.
That was super fun.
That was new. Yeah. Chocolate. So Chocolate was awesome. It was, we did that on C Day. I know I'm going out of order, but it's basically you make chocolate. So I guess we can talk about it when we get to sea day, but so that's what we were running back to do. So the first day, obviously you have sail away party and PJ party. We did not make it to the PJ party. I think it was too much alcohol that was had, and we did not make it to the PJ party, which is really sad. And we've got to stop doing that because that means we're old if we don't make it.
Well, the PJ party was also inside because
so then we did fine. I forgot that it was inside. And listen, I don't like the PJ party.
It's not the same.
I would have turned around and walked out anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same.
So then, the next day was Tortola, and we did a Virgin excursion, a Virgin Shore thing, to try it. Well, it was sold out. We will tell you that. Sold out to the point where there was 100 people on this excursion. So it was a little crazy town. But they handled it well, obviously, I think. So we got in a ferry. The ferry went over to Virgin Gorda. When we got to Virgin Gorda, there was a beautiful spot to eat and drink. And they gave us a drink. They gave us a buffet. The buffet was huge and the food was really good. But we were not hungry because we had just eaten breakfast.
It was like 10:30 in the morning when we got there.
Yeah.
So we're like, we're not ready for lunch.
Yeah, none of us were ready. So we were like, okay. So we nibbled on it to try it. And they call macaroni and cheese macaroni pie. So it kind of freaks me out just a little bit, but we did try it and it freaked me out just a tiny bit because I'm like, macaroni pie means there's like other things in it, but there was apparently nothing else in it. So
it was good.
It was really good. And then we left there and they put us in these safari type trucks and took us all the way from the one side. So like say if Virgin Gorda is this shape, it's not, it's a little bit more, whatever. We docked here. We had to go all the way over here to the baths. So we went over the mountains and through the hills and all this stuff, did all this stuff and saw, we had gorgeous pictures and the view was beautiful. And then we ended up over at the end by the baths. So when they took us over there, they dropped us off and they said, okay, you need to be back by blah, blah, blah. And I was like, did anyone hear that time? Like, did you?
I don't think we knew what time even when we went back. We were like, are we supposed to be back at this time or this time? Like, we didn't know.
It was really confusing because they were like, well, there's a beach here and then you can go to the beach and then you can go to the baths. And they didn't really explain it very well. And they were like, so go. And we were like, oh, okay, but where do we go? Like, we were like, what do we do? So then you read the signs and they started taking you down. I will tell you, it was quite a hike. Like, not uphill, it was down, but it was rocks and things you could slip on and
lots of dirt. So I would wear very good shoes, sneakers, something grippy.
And bring flip-flops. Honestly, I wish we had done that or wear water shoes that are really nice, really good water shoes because that would have worked too. But I was in sneakers, Kelly was in flip-flops, and I was like worried about her because she's walking over these rocks and it was a lot. But then my sneakers were not great after I'd gone through the baths, right? Because all of that's water. So now I'm like, oh, I don't want to put my sneakers on with sand all over it was a lot. So my suggestion would be water shoes or bring both pairs of shoes and then you're good. You're good to go.
Yeah. It does say closed-toed shoes.
It does say closed-toed shoes.
I did read that. I forgot when I left the ship. So I had flip-flops on. I was looking for water shoes at that place that we stopped for lunch, but they didn't have any. So I just did it in my flip-flops very carefully.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that was crazy. So then we went down, headed towards the beach. And when we got to the fork where it was either go to baths or go to beach, the guy was like, he stopped us and was like, why are you going to the baths? And we were like, because that's what we came here for. And he was like, well, go see the beach because you can't go back. And I was like, you can't? I was like, okay. He goes, yeah, it's only one way. So we were like, okay. So we went to the beach and we literally like,
okay, here's the beach. It looks like every other beach.
Yeah, so we were like, so we weren't going to hang out because there was no loungers. There was nothing there. It was literally like it was old school 80s beach. Lay your towel on the beach, lay down, hang out if you want.
And the water was cold.
And the water was cold. And I don't know that we were ready to be like, let's get in the water. Mm-hmm. So, and then not only that, but I didn't know what was coming our way for the baths part of it. Kelly did because she'd already done them when she went to Necker. But I still didn't know what was going on. So I was like, oh, what do we do? Anyway. We left, put our shoes back on to walk. Yeah, because we walked through the thing. Right. So we had to go walk through again this whole forest / pathway. And we went to the fork, back to the fork, and then went the way towards the Virgin baths. So then Kelly was the guide there. She was our leader. right?
The tour guide who's directionally challenged.
Yes.
But I will take this one.
Yeah. I was like, I don't really know what to do. And that's the thing. You show up and there's like all these rocks and there's all these places that you can kind of go. And I was like, what do you do? There's no one to tell you what to do. So I guess you could explore if you wanted to. And I guess that's probably what it was. But we really just kind of followed the path. And there were
arrows on rocks.
Yeah,
and like
ropes.
ladders and ropes and things. Yeah.
So over here, I guess the lady that called me the idiot, moron over here. I'm trying to film this thing with my covered, what are those things that you wear around your neck?
Pouch.
The pouch that saves your phone from the water. I'm trying to film this thing, hold on to it, hold on to the rope. I'm like, I'm such an idiot. I know I'm going down at this point. I'm like gonna smack my face, break my nose, whatever. Like I'm having visions of broken cheekbones. And so I'm like holding myself as I'm going up there and I'm like, maybe it really isn't that important that I film this right now. And it turned out okay. But both of us own hay meadows, and I know they're not called hay meadows, but that's what we call them. Both of us own hay meadows, and neither one of us thought to put them on and film it that way, which would have been the smarter way to do it, where I could have had both hands free and not find myself,
That was really silly.
Yeah.
Because mine were in my bag.
Mine were not, so we could have used hers. So yeah. But anyways, it was amazing. I highly suggest the baths. They're everything that everyone says they are. They were just beautiful. It was such a great time. We didn't have a ton of people going with us because the people that kind of were a part of the excursion had stayed in the beach area. And so we ended up going by ourselves pretty much through the baths, which was nice.
Yeah, it was nice because we get to take our time over the rocks and through the ropes and up the ladders. Yeah. It didn't feel rushed that people were behind us.
Yeah, because and you should take your time because it was slippery.
Yeah.
Definitely. And at this point, we had sneakers on? I think we still had sneakers on until we went into the bath. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyways, but it was so fun. Maybe I should consult my video that I took. Me fumbling with this video. And then at times the thing was on anyways. Or I've yet to watch the video. It's probably pretty funny because like it would touch my stomach because I was wearing a bikini and it would turn on and just I'd be like, oh, it's filming. Oh, okay, well here we go. So I'm sure the video is pretty funny, honestly. And then after that, we ended up having a drink and seeing Kelly's clients that were there. They had actually done what? They just
took the ferry over. They paid
$40. I thought he said
was, and then it was like $3 to get into the baths, and they explored on their own. So they didn't have a timeline. They didn't have people they had to follow. Yeah. And then they just took the ferry back. So that's an option too if you don't want to do the excursion
with everyone.
You could just take the ferry.
I will say that the excursion was nice. I didn't feel like it was the only time that I felt like it was a lot of people was when we were in the safari trucks. And then no one told us that we had to remember our safari truck on the way home where we were. So we were in random safari trucks and people were like, this isn't your safari. No one said that. But I did feel like that was the feeling of like.
I do. That was definitely the feeling.
Yeah. That like, this isn't your safari truck. And we're like, we don't know who our safari truck was. Like, no, that guy did. I mean, he barely said but 2 words. So like, we had no idea that we were supposed to remember who our safari truck was. So anyways, we ended up on a safari truck with some people that we knew were on our old safari truck. But we definitely that was not our safari truck. So, and no one was fighting for our seats. So whatever, but it did feel like that. Right?
Yes.
So yeah. So anyways, but like she said, if you want to do it on your own, that's the way to do it. And I think that's probably how I would do it next time if I did it again. If I ever did again. I don't know that I need to do it again. I think it was great, but I don't know that I need to go over there again. No. You've done it now twice.
I'm good.
Kelly's like, I'm out.
Good.
Done it twice. Now I'm good. Don't need to see it again. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that I need to see it again, but it was cool. The island was absolutely beautiful, and I did look at places to like, I would love to stay there on that island. It was absolutely gorgeous. And we did drive. We did boat, sail, float, by Necker and Mosquito, which are both owned by Richard Branson. So we did get to see those, which was really cool. That was fun. Kelly got to see her own stomping grounds. Be like, that's where I hung out on Necker Island. I'm so cool.
I'm so cool.
She's like, hey, Richie, remember me? Oh, gosh. Anyway, so that's what we did there. And then we stopped at a bar right off the dock when the ferry brought us back. And, on the ferry, they did give us very warm rum shots. And then we went to
Had
the bar.
some nachos.
Oh my God, we did. We kept the tradition alive and had nachos. And this was, by the way, the theme of the week. Anywhere we went, we'd be like, but do they have nachos? Like, I mean, we're in the Caribbean. Like, we're joking. Obviously, we know they don't have nachos. But every time they did, we were like, all right, let's have some nachos. We literally ordered nachos every single place that we went. And I've yet to have a real set of nachos since I've been back on American soil to quench that craziness of all the what's it like? It's like when you buy the pop from the store brand pop or soda, whatever you call it, pop or soda, and it's not Coke, and you're like, this doesn't taste quite the same. It's like the nachos. Like, you're like, these aren't quite the same, even though they have cheese, they have chicken, they've got chips, but they're not really just not the same thing. Anyways, we shoveled in a bunch of nachos because we hadn't eaten, like we said, because we didn't eat the buffet. So we hadn't eaten, so we shoveled in a bunch of nachos at that place, and then we ended up at Coconuts, and then had a shot there with my clients, and then got back on the ship. I don't know where we ate that night, but listen, we ate all the normal places except for Another Rose.